MovieWeb.com.
Coffee's free for friends of the press. I heard a young woman was murdered.
Who told you that?
You just did.
Sonia Baker, a valued member of my staff, died this morning.
Congressman Collins. He's an old friend of yours, is that right?
Good reporters don't have friends, only sources.
You okay?
Collins was allegedly having an affair with a young woman.
Want to know everything that we can about her. You've got 8 hours.
They've got 56 cameras. There are 3 blind spots in the entire system, and Sonia Baker went down in one of them.
Come on, Cal, leave that alone.
Close your eyes. Just checking out your cell phone.
Did we just break the law?
Nope, that's what you call damn fine reporting.
Okay, well, first I want to commend you for showing the proper diet of a journalist. And I'm wondering, I've read some different reports in the past that a single man who kind of subsists on this chemical sort of diet of junk food actually triggers different reactions in his head. And I'm wondering, when you had gone into, like, portray this guy, were you sort of looking at that aspect of the character?
No, I wasn't looking at that at all. From that perspective, I was using that moment to show that he wasn't really a person that was concerned with those sort of things, you know, that shoving snack food into his mouth, going from one story to the next, is just a particular a part of his day-to-day life.
What's interesting about your character is she doesn't have the weight of a romance on her shoulders, as opposed to a lot of female characters that we see in films like this. And I'm wondering, how did that help you create what you wanted to bring into this role, not having that sort of idea placed on top of her?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that was just, there was just a better through line, you know, to the truth of the story and or the truth of their circumstances. I guess, yeah, it just wasn't as sort of muddled, and, you know, there was that romance between Russell's character and Robin Wright's character, so, you know, I always like a little romance in film, but, you know, this just wasn't about that.
You were awesome in this movie. It's really exciting to see you play this character. I'm wondering, after you made your last film, did you kind of look at how great that film was and decide that you just need to stick to really good movies? Is that the plan from here on out?
Well, I had done Hollywoodland before that, you know, which was really a really satisfying experience, and, you know, it was more a result of seeing the actors that were in this movie and wanting to work with these actors and liking this story and kind of wanting to be a part of that. My criteria now is basically just to do stuff where I think the character, you know, there's something kind of underneath it that's sort of interesting, where the characters kind of could have an inner life, and also to work with really talented people. That's a big part of it. But I'm glad you liked Gone Baby Gone.
Are you taking me off the story?
No, not off, just off point. If this is as big as he says it is, a big if, then it's going to be good for you.
How is that good?
Well, watching seasoned reporters at work on a big story, you know, being part of it all, you'll learn a lot. So, Ted Moody, what do you think?
Don't let her do it.
And Cal, if you're on this, I want this to be clean, through and through.
Tell her
I don't want the
to
congressman
forget it.
getting...
It's your gig. You got it. Get loud now.
Excuse me, you're defending her now?
She's fine. I can work with her.
And now this movie is coming at a time when a lot of newspapers are failing and a lot of magazines are failing, and I'm wondering, do you think this guy is a dinosaur, or do you think the type of integrity he has is actually going to consist in the world of media and actually be around for a while? I mean, do you think this guy will be able to exist in the media age?
Well, I think if we don't have journalists or people who are feeding us our news, if they don't have a strong ethical point of view, then what's the point? You know, as it is, serious news has been affected greatly over the last couple of decades by trying to make it more palatable, more showy, more explosive for the audience. So I think we're a long way away from the credible news or the credibility of news that was existent when I was a kid, for example. And I don't think we'll go back from this point, but I don't think it's a great place for us to be in.
McCaffrey's sort of becoming a dinosaur. I'm wondering, do you think his integrity is going to live on in future generations of journalists, or do you think that sort of truth that he's after is going to die with newsprint?
I think that there will always be people seeking out the truth, and I think that especially at times when there isn't a lot, that will become really important. It will become, I think, maybe I'm an idealist.
You're just seeking the truth, that's all. You're a truth seeker. That's all, you can't help it, so you are. You're such a hypocrite. You're not interested in me. Me coming here was all about you and getting your story. I trusted you. You're my friend. You were supposed to be my friend when you were my wife. You're my friend, Cal. I never would have done this to you.
I'm sorry, Stephen, okay? I'm sorry about all of it. Please, look, and I can understand why you hate me for it. You just gotta put aside how you feel about me and stay with us. We're so close.
Did they sort of age you up a little bit? Because you look like you're playing a slightly older character.
Yeah,
than you
a little
actually
bit. No one else noticed that. I did like a little prosthetics and a little, gray, extra gray. I already have some gray. But I did a little extra like graying, and we have some like eye prosthetic makeup, and I lost about like 10 or 12 pounds or so, just because the idea would be like try to be a little bit more gaunt, so that's the answer.
Well, it's interesting that a lot of actors wouldn't do that, but I'm wondering, do you look at your older peers and think that, like, they're such sex symbols now that you're kind of rushing the process to get to be one of those older sex symbols? Do you know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting way to look at it. No, but I do think that it's, I don't think too much about being a sex symbol, but I do think about trying to make the character work and trying to find and I do admire many of my older peers, but I don't think of it in those terms. I'm not trying to go make a mask that looks like them.
Start from the beginning. Where did you meet Sonia Baker?
Why don't we start with a little compensation?
This guy's stoned off his face and now he wants a beer. Can I have one?
Yeah. For what? For what? Me helping you out, me losing my business. This bed's disgusting. Compensate me, okay?
Okay, so you want to be paid to help solve Sonia's murder?
Save it, all right? I'm in PR. I know a little bit about phrasing questions, so why don't you try phrasing it like this? Would I like to be paid for helping you get a book deal?
Nobody's here for a book deal.
Really? Everybody wants a book deal, and I'd like my cut, okay? That's just fair.
When did you meet Sonia?
Compensation.
We came here to talk, Dominic.
And you know what else? I'm the talent, and I don't like the vibe, so why don't you change that up, okay?
Yeah, do you look at this guy as sort of an angel or sort of a whore? I mean, where do you come at his perspective?
I think there's a moral ambiguity in journalism anyway, and I think that objectivity is a myth. And that's what I said to the director right from the beginning. There's, if you're expecting me to play this guy as, journalist as hero, you're talking to the wrong bloke. Come in and play him as a human being, and a human being with his own foibles and quirks and predilections and preferences like every human being. And I think, this is an extreme case, that is talked about in this film, but I think personal opinion affects every article written by every journalist in every newspaper around the world and every day. So I think that ethical objectivity is something that doesn't truly exist. Now, I don't have a problem with that, but I have a problem with pretending that trivia is news.
Was it easy for you to find a balance between sort of the soft side of your character and the hard side of her? Because she really brings both sides together for this.
Yeah, I think she's sort of struggling with that. I think she's struggling with playing nice with everybody and staying on good terms, and at the same time, like, being ruthless and screwing people over at a greater cost and for the better good. And I think that she's always kind of walking that line. I think that's something journalists probably struggle with all the time, is staying in everybody's good books, and at the same time you have to just screw what everybody thinks. So
they really have no friends.
No friends.
Okay.
Sad.
This is as big and as connected as they get.